So today I'm going to be spraying a 4-acre field of switchgrass. This was planted last year in middle of August. So talking to Roger over at REAP Canada, he said to use Stinger. And he says it does a better job on mare's tail, and it won't hurt the switchgrass as much as 2,4-D will. So for this 4 acres, it's actually it's about 3.75 acres. And according to the use label, I'm going to need about 28 ounces. So I need to leave about 4 ounces in this bottle. Just a little bit more. So that's about 28 ounces. And that's going to be mixed with about 140 gallons of water. And that'll cover at a rate of 40 gallons of water per acre out of this tank. That'll cover this 3.75 acres. So anyway, not only did I put the Stinger in there, but I'm also using a surfactant. This is from FarmWorks. You can get it at TSC, but it's an 80-20 surfactant. It's a non-ionic surfactant. And what that'll do is it allows the herbicide to stick to the leaves a little bit better. So especially if you're using hard water, like well water or something like that, you know how sometimes when you wash a car that's just been waxed, you get that water that beads up on the hood? Well, that's what will happen on the plants if you don't use a surfactant or something of that nature. Some guys will just use like dishwashing liquid. And this stuff calls for about 2 quarts per 100 gallons. So with about 140 gallons of water, I'm using about 3 quarts. Okay, we're loaded up with water. We got Stinger, we got surfactant, we are ready to spray. So I just got done spraying this almost 4-acre field of switchgrass with Stinger herbicide. And wow, I'm really surprised at how well the Quinstar did on some of these weeds about a month ago when I came in here and sprayed it with that. The Quinstar was really just to knock down the foxtail, you know, some bird's foot trefoil and some other miscellaneous weeds, but it was really not designed to kill the mare's tail. But when I was walking through here earlier today, I was noticing that some of the mare's tail really got stunted by that Quinstar, and I was pleasantly surprised. I'll show you some areas over here where they really got hurt pretty bad. Man, you can see right here how tall this switchgrass has got. So this was planted last year, August 15, and I would say that this is up to my thigh now. So if we look at that, well, it's actually it's up to my belt already. So really happy with it. We planted it at a rate of 4 pounds per acre on the RC Big Rock. And then we also put in 2 pounds an acre of Big Blue Stem. Man, I am really happy with this stuff. You can see right here, we got a pretty good mare's tail right here. And, you know, it's just a really tough weed to kill. I mean, Roundup doesn't touch it. Liberty even really has a hard time touching it unless you really ups the dose and make it a pretty hot mixture. But, you know, now that we got switchgrass in here, Roundup or Liberty is not an option, right? Because that'll kill everything, plus the switchgrass. And one thing I'm noticing in here as I walk around, and that is we do not have a lot of horse nettle. It's like horse nettle will really thrive in areas where it doesn't have a lot of competition. But it seems like it's a big wussy plant, because once you get any kind of competition like this switchgrass and mare's tail, horse nettle is almost non-existent. So I do see a few here and there where the switchgrass is not a thick, but man, you look in here and it's just pretty much all mare's tail and switchgrass. So beautiful. I mean, this is really becoming a very nice stand. So now I'll bring you over here where we've got some mare's tail I noticed that looked like it got hurt pretty bad by the Quinstar last month. And Quinstar is kind of a derivative of quinclorac. And you can see right here, we've got some mare's tail that got hurt pretty bad. But don't worry, this thing I doubt is going to die. This mare's tail is so resilient. You can hurt it, but it's going to come back. But you know, then you look at some of these mare's tail plants like this one, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, you know. The one thing that you will find is that on mare's tail and shorter ones, the Quinstar did a little bit better job because it was less mature. But then when you get to some of these bigger ones, you know, they're a little bit too mature for that Quinstar. So if you're going to spray Quinstar, quinclorac, or things of that nature, you know, it's always better to hit the mare's tail when it's a lot younger, like in the rosette stage. You can see a lot of the duff, a lot of the stuff that the Quinstar killed about a month ago. So there's a lot of dead weeds down there, and let's just cross our fingers that the stinger really did its job today. And we're kind of in a valley, as you can notice right here, but in this low spot you can see that, man, this switchgrass has really jumped. I would say that this one right here is about up to my chest already. So this is almost 11 months since we planted. So pretty happy with it. And as you can see, it's looking nice and healthy where you don't have a lot of mare's tail. Now as I walk around this switchgrass, what I encounter here are a few spots of look like bare ground, and probably because there was a lot of weeds here, and a lot of these died off with the Quinstar spraying about a month ago. But I'm not concerned about these bare spots at all. You know, this is not like I want it to be a food plot where I want every square inch of it to be awesome food, right? I mean, this is just going to be for cover. And in a switchgrass stand like this, when it's for bedding like this is, you don't want it to be too thick. And so when we're talking a screen where maybe we want to break up a food plot, or we're trying to create an access screen between our access trail and a food plot, that's when you want to plant switchgrass at about, you know, 10 to maybe 11 pounds per acre. Deer probably will not bed in switchgrass if it's that thick. So I do see some switchgrass fields out there that were planted probably in that 10 pounds per acre. And as you walk around those stands, boy, you just don't see any beds in them because it's just too thick and it's really, really hard to walk through. So this, I feel, has got a pretty good population in here. And then, like I said, we're going to create a food plot corridor that's going to empty out by the blind, and it's going to take them right through here, and it's going to curve around and go back and forth and wind around, and then probably go back to over by the center field of our warning track. And then again, in here we're going to intersperse some spruce and maybe some fir, crabapple trees, and maybe a water hole. We just want to create a diverse habitat out here as much as possible. So I'm going to be back out here again later this year, and just to do another update. And I really want to see how the stinger has knocked down these mare's tails. And then at that point, I'll create another video, give you another update. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to know how the switchgrass progresses and how I deal with the weeds, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And that way you won't miss any of these videos that I come up with down the road.